Hello, traders. How are you? Happy summer that's going by really fast. I want to talk about SPY and I want to talk about candle wicks, specifically candle wicks at the tops of candles and what that means. I'm going to start with the daily and we're going to look at this kind of level here. And we're going to notice this wick. Wicks at the top of candles tend to be liquidity grabs for two things: to stop out breakout traders and to freak out shorts. So this type of candle, and this isn't the best example for a liquidity grab on short, but it certainly is for a long. If someone looked at this candle, I mean, I personally wouldn't go long on a candle that's closed below where it opened, but let's just pretend you did and you're looking for a break above this candle, or when you see this candle open move higher, you're expecting it to break out and go to all new all-time highs, and then it turns around and reverses on you. That's a liquidity grab, meaning market makers know that people program in potentially buy orders here for a breakout trade, or there's going to be buy stops. You know, if someone got short, or if someone got, let's say, short in here somewhere, they're going to put their stop maybe up in this area. So just keep that in mind, and I'm going to explain this again because it's kind of confusing until you hear it several times. So let's look at SPY, and I'm actually going to go back a couple days ago just because there's all kind of wickiness going on. Wiki, wiki, wiki. And if I'm looking at a pre-market chart, I find pre-market charts fairly helpful. And often I will have both a pre-market and then a chart without pre-market because they can tell different stories. Get this out of the way. But I always mark the following: lows and highs, and this is obviously after hours, not pre-market, but I'm just looking at it as one consecutive deal here. And then I mark other areas of interest. So other areas of interest I see here, we've got this gap up. This is basically the open, and that's actually an important level, the open of pre-market. And you see it tried to push up here, it tried again, failed. At any rate, that's an important line, and in this case I think even more so, because we've got price that tried to push up, failed, and then you see here it's testing the underside of this line, so that tells you something. And then likely I'm going to mark up this area, right? And that's official pre-market lows. These are after hours from yesterday. A lot of times I will go up to a higher time frame just in the event that there's some areas I need to take into consideration. Get this out of the way again. Go back to the 1 minute. Guess I could just type one in too, but I'm tired, so I'm not thinking clearly. Okay, so what's the story we're seeing? Well, here's the story, and really this is how I talk to myself when I read a chart. You really got to talk to yourself like it's a story, and what is price trying to tell you. And looking pre-market, okay, price is telling me it was strong, it gapped up, tried to push above 441.33, failed, came back up, tried twice now, right? Failed both times, so that's telling me something. Then I want to see what happens right near the open. And in this case, right near the open, what I'm noticing, dang it, is another lower high, right? So realistically, to me, that's an actionable signal. To get short, your stop goes above that wick. Why did I just turn that off? Why is that doing that? So your stop goes ding ding, or not. My lord. Come on. What in the... Why is this not... Sorry, guys. Okay, so my stop is going to go here. I mean, realistically, you could put it all the way up here, but that might be wide for some of you. Others, not so much. I mean, a point on SPY is not that much range. And you understand that these are areas of liquidity. Again, what's happening in here is that, well, a couple things. One, if you're someone that got short, let's say, and you're going to put your stop somewhere in this region, okay? And what is a stop when you're short? It's a buy stop, right? So if price goes above your stop, you're going to buy back to cover. There's also going to be sell stops in there, because let's think about it. If you're trading, you're someone looking to trade above that range, thinking price is going higher, and then it starts to fail back through, you're going to find buy stops and sell stops in here, based on whether you're a breakout trader or whether you're someone that went short and then you think, oh my gosh, this is really strong, it's going to take off. Okay, so that's why I always say, when you see these kinds of things, if you're short and you get a scenario where a wick comes above, just wait till the next candle close, and if it's above, then let it stop you off, because you'll find that often, you know, for instance, if I had drawn some kind, let's just pretend this were a higher time frame, you had a broadening formation here. I'm trying to think. And let's just say that you got short on this candle, and let's pretend the wick was right here, and then you see this guy, it stops you out of your short because you think now it's taken off, turns right back around and comes down. So if you don't understand this, that's okay. It took me a while to understand. I'll try to do more videos on this, but understand when you've got wicks at the top, it's gonna try to stop out breakout traders, and it's going to try to fake out the shorts by taking price slightly higher, making you run your stop, and then it's going to turn around and go short in the direction you thought it was going to ultimately. So how do we kind of avoid that? Well, there's a few things you can do. In this case, again, pre-market, we've got a high. This is a slightly higher high, but that's a liquidity grab, right? For people that thought price was breaking out. Could also freak out shorts who maybe had a stop right here. This is actually a decent example. Maybe your stop's here. Oh, what did price do? Blast it right through like it was going to keep going, and then boom, hit the hammer down. So first of all, patience is the most important thing as a trader, and that has been the hardest thing for me because I'm not the most patient human being that there is. Market has definitely told me though, market has a way of whatever your weaknesses are, the market will let you know, and it will beat you up on those weaknesses until you figure it out. So you start seeing things like this, lower high. Definitely not going in the right direction, right? So any one of these lower highs you could have gotten short on and then just put your stop above. Okay, so here, and the reason you want to potentially put your stop above the last lower high is that price again tends to go up and grab liquidity. So just be aware of that. And the more you give, I mean, SPY's $450 stock, give it some room, you know. It's one of the best things you can trade actually with options, especially if you're a new trader. The options, the spreads are really tight. The price action's generally pretty good. But look here, just on all wick at the top, wick. Yes, there's a few at the bottom, but every time price tries to get moving, it's smack down. That's your tell, okay? And let's just say you didn't take any of these, you know. You could have waited for this break. You've already gotten these lows. I don't take it on the break. I wait for that retest. This is your retest. Price moves up. It's so weak it can't even cover this last candle, right? Dang nabbit. Okay. See, that can't even, so that you get short there. It's a nice, minute you see it going down, you get short. The other thing is you've also got a strat signal here. So you could take a starter position and then when it confirms with this 2-2 breakdown, 2-2 reversal, you can add the rest of your position and your target here you got off the higher time frames, right? But I want you to notice one other thing, and this involves wicks and toppiness and how do you market structure, how do you tell what's going on with a chart, what's the story the chart is telling you. If you scroll back in, you can see this on the larger time frames, but sometimes it's helpful. I can really see a pattern here. We've got a bunch of liquidity grabs here to fake out longs and probably some shorts in there as well with these higher highs before it goes down, right? And what do we notice here? These highs are quite a bit lower than what we've got going on here. These lower still than that area. So what's price gonna do tomorrow? Well, it's hard to say. A lot of it to me depends on pre-market. So in other words, if we've got this nice range and price comes all the way back down in this area, then I'm thinking the most likely direction, at least initially, is probably a bounce back up. I like those extremes near the top or near the bottom. But when I'm looking at overall market structure, I'm seeing this, which is really a series of lower highs. I mean, these are slightly higher than this, but you've got, if I can, here, let me just get rid of all this for a second. But those could likely be liquidity grabs. So we'll see what she wants to do. I guess the other thing here, real quick on the daily, get rid of all this crap, is we've got 8 candles that really haven't gone anywhere. I mean, I guess I shouldn't entirely say that because we've got a broadening formation back and forth, kind of, right in here, right? But that's still, I mean, a fairly tight range. It keeps trying to go above that area or below, and Here we got 3-3, so it doesn't know what it wants to do. And, we'll see tomorrow. If you're going long, I mean, my thought is it needs to get above this and retest before it goes long to prevent one of those wicky liquidity grabs before it continues back short. So just keep that in mind. Those wicks to me are market maker fun and follies trying to stop you out of trades, and you can expect them when you see things like when you see a market structure like we just looked at on the 1 minute chart, or even let's make it 5 minutes so I can wheel it back in. When I look at this big picture, right, I see what's going on here. Just a series of lower highs to take price out and stop people out both directions. That's what I'm seeing. So we'll see what they want to do with them tomorrow. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what questions you have. I'll try to do more vids on Wicks because I think they're incredibly important in giving you the tells or the clues for what price will do next. Thanks, guys.